Hey guys, what's good? How we doing today? It's your boy Ven and welcome back to another video. So today's video, as promised, I'm going to do a best settings. This goes for graphics, mouse and keyboard, controller for Warzone and Vanguard in general. Now these settings, they're not like the definitive best settings except for maybe the graphics settings, but I've done a lot of research over the past few months. I've always been comparing my controller, mouse and keyboard settings with other pro players. I would say these settings are probably one of the most popular settings people run on controller and mouse and keyboard. Now before we get to today's video, if you guys want to show me some support, be sure to hit that like button. If we could get this video to at least 15 likes, you guys will be absolute beasts. And of course, if you have not done so yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button, smash that bell for post notifications so you don't miss another one of my videos. You guys went absolutely nutty on my kill farming video, so I appreciate all you guys. I love all the support that's been coming in over the last few days. All right guys, so with all that out of the way, let's get to the best settings for Warzone, mouse, keyboard, controller, graphics. Let's get it. Okay guys, so I'm kind of just going to hop into the settings, start with keyboard, mouse, go to graphics, and then controller at the end, just go down the line. I feel like that will be the easiest. All right, so I'm not going to go over every single specific setting for mouse and keyboard. I'm just going to go over the ones I think are important. Though a lot of them are just up to your preference, but there are specific ones that I think you should have them set a certain way. So, all right, so starting with mouse, all the sensitivity stuff, that is basically up to you. It also depends what DPI mouse you're using. So what I would suggest, hop into a private match, mess around with your sensitivity settings until it feels good for you. One thing I would recommend though is your ADS sensitivity multiplier. Try and keep it at 1. I know some people decrease it to make it easier when you ADS to make it move slower, but I'm telling you, if you get really good and consistent with it at 1, your shot will improve tenfold. So if you're currently not using this at 1, I highly suggest at least trying it out. Maybe hop into some aim training on Kovac or aim labs or whatever, and once you get used to it, you will see your shot improve so much. All right, moving down, mouse acceleration. Most people don't use this. I highly suggest not to use it. So if you have anything on mouse acceleration, I recommend turning that off. Okay guys, now moving on to movement. For your slide behavior, definitely have it on tap. I wouldn't have it on hold. When it comes to tactical sprint behavior, you can have it on toggle, but I personally like using automatic tac sprint. So if I just press W, move forward on my keyboard, automatically goes into a tac sprint. I really like that. The only time I see it screwing people over is if you're running like a fully auto shotgun. If you're in the middle of a tac sprint and you try and hold down the trigger, like it will just mess up the shotgun firing. So that's the only time I see that like affecting you, but especially on controller, automatic tac sprint is elite. I can't see myself doing anything else apart from that. Okay, now in the weapons and equipment section, this one is really important. It will really help you out, especially in stressful situations. If you go down to the armor plate behavior, have it on apply all. It makes it so you only have to press it once to apply all your available armor plates until you have max armor. So that's really clutch, so you don't have to keep pressing it, especially if you're in the middle of a fight. This is almost a necessary setting to have on, so make sure you have apply all on this. All right, there's one thing I missed in the first section for mouse and keyboard. For ADS mouse sensitivity mode, I like having it on legacy. This kind of makes it work just how it has in the previous CODs. When you ADS, your rotation speed is reduced based on your new FOV. So depending on what FOV you play on, this can be a different setting for you. So I would just recommend having this on legacy. That's what feels best for me. You can try out the other one, but like I said, legacy, a lot of people use legacy, and I prefer the way this one feels. All right, I know I said we were going to go to graphics next, but I actually think it makes more sense to go to controller after mouse and keyboard, then do graphics last. So we're going to controller. All right, so a lot of these first settings kind of just have to do with your personal preference. I always have my stuff, a lot of my stuff is on default, like button layouts and all that stuff. For your input dead zones, it really depends on your controller. My scuff instinct, I have it on 0.03. The best way to test for stick drift is either have your map open. If you see your cursor just drifting on the map, you might have stick drift. No, you will have stick drift. But that honestly, I have stick drift in the map sometimes, but in game it's not noticeable at all. So try it in the map. If you see in the map, see if you have stick drift in game, and then get this number as low as possible, as close to 0 as possible, to up until where you see noticeable stick drift. The max input dead zone, I just keep at 0.99. I don't see any problem there. Now your stick sensitivity, a lot of people tend to have it on 6. I just tried increasing mine to 7 just to test it out, see if I play better with it a little faster. But like I said, this is up to your preference. If you want to try and get up to 6 or 7, start on a lower one. Playing a lot of custom matches against bots, you'll get used to it really quickly. Maybe crank it up to one higher than 6 or 7 and then bump it back down, and then it'll definitely feel a lot slower. So yeah, that's what I recommend if you want to get your sensitivity up. All right, so in terms of the aim response curve type, I have mine on dynamic, and through my research, almost every single pro player and like big streamers play on dynamic. Now, the difference between like dynamic and standard, I know it says for this description, it's reverse S-curve mapping for fine aim rate control. I don't really know what that means exactly, but from what I've gathered, dynamic, it just has a little bit less stickiness to the aim assist. You're able to swap between targets a lot easier. It's a lot fluid of a motion as compared to standard, where you'll feel the aim assist a little stronger. It's harder to like move around and swap between enemies. So if you could throw on dynamic and it feels good, great, have dynamic on. If it feels a little harder to hit your shots, put it on standard, get used to that until you have some pretty consistent shots, then try moving it to dynamic. If you want to speed up the process, hop into private match against bots, just run around playing on dynamic until it starts to feel more comfortable for you. But have your end goal for this, to try and be on dynamic, because from what I've gathered, that is the most popular and best one. Now, with the aim assist, the normal aim assist setting, I have it on standard. That's what I see almost everyone have theirs on. And with scale aim assist with FOV, I have this on disabled. I tried on enabled. I really couldn't see a difference just from looking at it, but I just hit better shots with it on disabled, and a good amount of people keep it on disabled. Like, I know Aiden keeps it on disabled, so I'm probably just gonna keep it here. And just like in the mouse and keyboard settings, armor plate behavior, have this on apply all. It is the definitive setting you should use this on. Now, for movement on controller, definitely have your slide behavior on tap. That will make slide canceling a lot easier. And then, like I said, on mouse and keyboard, I have it on automatic tack sprint. Especially on controller, it's elite. You can move so fast, and after using automatic tack sprint, I can't go back. So I highly recommend at least trying it out, see if you like it. Okay, guys, so finally on to the final section. We are on the graphics settings. Let's go. So obviously, all this beginning stuff, it just depends on what setup you have and all that stuff. Your screen refresh rate, render resolution. I have dynamic resolution disabled. I don't know a lot of people that use that, but since it's something I don't really understand fully, I just have it disabled. All right, now in terms of the quality settings, now I play on 120 FOV. This is 100% up to your preference. I know a few people that play at 120. I know a few people that play at 110, 116. I would just try out some different FOVs and see which one feels and looks best to you. Like I said, you could just hop into a private match, change your FOV settings until for your perspective, you think it feels the best. Some people have said that maxing your FOV out lowers your aim assist, but I honestly haven't noticed anything like that. So just put it on numbers you think would feel good until you find one that suits you best. All right, so I'm just gonna go down all of these so you can see what each one is on. I've gone through the recommended settings, so these are probably the most recommended graphics settings if you want to max your frame rate out. So we're just going to kind of go down. All right, so streaming quality we got on low, texture resolution very low, anisotropic low, particle quality low, bullet impacts and sprays I have enabled solely because if you're in a fight or looking for someone, there have been instances where I've been able to kind of read the situation based on bullet impacts and that stuff. Tessellation disabled. Gore effects disabled, on-demand texture streaming disabled. Now going down to post-processing effects, this is on 1. I think that's the standard number. We got film grain on 0. DLSS I have disabled. Anti-aliasing, we got anti-aliasing off. Depth of field disabled. World motion blur disabled. Weapon motion blur disabled. Shadow map resolution at low. The two cache spot shadows and cache sun shadows, have those enabled because it stores it so you can render future frames faster, so that will help your frame rate. Particle lighting off, ray tracing obviously off, ambient occlusion off, and then screen space reflection disabled. All right, guys, so that brings us to the end of this settings video. If there is anything I skipped over, or if you guys have questions about anything I said, definitely leave it down below in the comments. I will reply to you immediately. And also, if there are settings that you have different compared to me and you think it's a better option compared to what I said, also leave it down below in the comments, let other people know, and I will check it out and see what you're talking about. So as always, I hope you guys have a dope rest of your day. Remember, stay blessed, not stressed out there. Hope you get some W's today, boys. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.